Hi guys, I'm going to show you another reading strategy today for you to try when you're doing your 20 minutes of reading. Today's reading strategy is making connections. Good readers make connections while they read. And I'm going to tell you about 3 different ways you can make a connection to your book, your text. I have Sable here, and I'm going to begin reading again where we left off. Sable is a book about a girl and a dog. A dog had just arrived at the farm in this book. The dog looked up, not at me exactly, not at Mom either. She stared at nothing in particular. She just moved her head in the direction of the kitchen door. Her stirring scared Eden half to death. Mam's cat slipped like gray smoke behind the fridge. The dog staggered to her feet and wobbled a step or two away from us, and then she stopped. She leaned against the porch rail, panting. "She looks awful thirsty, Mom," I said. "Should I put some water out for her?" Mom's face tightened a bit, but then she nodded. "I guess some water would be okay," she said. "Just push the bowl out the door, Tate. Don't you go out there yourself. There's no trusting a stray." "Yes, ma'am," I said, filling a small mixing bowl with cold water. "Should I feed her something too?" Okay, I'm going to stop reading for a minute because I just made a connection in my head. I have a dog, and I have to give him water when he's thirsty. Sometimes after a walk, he comes home panting like, and I have to give him water. So I'm making a connection to myself in my life, to my dog who needs water when he's thirsty. Okay, I'll read a little bit more to see if I can make another connection. "Don't give him a bite of food, Tate," Mom said. "Don't even think about giving that dog a reason for staying." I slid the bowl out the door, slopping water over the cuff of my shirt. The dog inched up slowly, sniffing, and started to drink. Just then, Pop came out of his shop, heading towards the house for his morning snack. He was wearing his blue Saxonville baseball cap. Before he covered the distance between the shop and the kitchen, he spotted the dog on the porch. Mom's face shifted into a question. The dog wagged her tail weakly. "Oh, I just made a connection with another book. I read this other book called Stone Fox. It was a book I read last year. And in that book, Stone Fox, there was also a dog who was living on the porch of this family's house. That makes me think in both of those books, there were dogs living on the farm. It's a little different though, because in Stone Fox, the dog belonged to the boy. But in this book, it's a new dog that just showed up. So I just remembered a connection between another text and this one. Let me keep reading and see if I can make one more connection to the world. I called from inside the kitchen. "She just showed up, Pop. She won't bite, will she?" Mom thought she would, but I don't. I think we should feed her. Mom looked up from the sink and scowled. The storm door banged shut as Pop came into the kitchen, scrambling down the porch steps. The dog fled. The tail was between her legs. And then she crept back up a few seconds later and finished drinking the food from the water bowl. Pop slipped one of Mom's biscuits soaked in milk gravy to me. Oh, you know what I was just thinking? There's a lot of stray dogs. I remember once when we were in the country of Georgia, there were so many stray dogs in that country, and my girls wanted to feed all of them. I just made a connection between the little girl wanting to feed this dog and in the world how there are so many stray dogs that people want to feed and take care of. So I made 3 different connections, and that's what you're going to do in your reading today. You're going to make one that is text to text, That means you will compare your book, what's happening in your book, to another book you've read. You will make one connection that's text to self. That means you will compare what's in your book to something you experienced in your life. And then you will make a third connection from text to the world. Something that has happened somewhere else in the world that is similar to what might be happening in your text. You will do this work in your notebook. You're going to get your notebook and you're going to set it up like this. I will have a picture of this in Seesaw. You will copy this in your notebook and do this work in your reader's notebook. And then after you finish your work, you will put it into Seesaw. Good luck making connections.